Guys, y'all gonna love this commission.
I know, right? That's what we should do. Throw darts for money today.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and start while everybody's doing their deal. But I think the best way to go here, you know, is just walk through a opportunity that I'm going to create. That'll be the easiest way to do. I think to just and Melissa, could you get rid of all this? How do I do that?
Click on.
I don't want to.
Click on.
This?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I'd just like to show, I'm sure everybody's using opportunities and whatever. And what I want to stress real quickly is when you get a listing, go ahead and put that in opportunities, okay? Don't fool around with the paperwork and all that kind of stuff and keep it in your rooms. Go ahead and place it in your opportunity. I'm finding a lot of people are not even putting the contact in, okay, until they get to the end of the closing. And of course, you can't do anything unless you got your contacts in. So put your contacts in, put your contacts in, put your contacts in. Okay. Understand that? I think after you do that, and once you put your listing in, you're going to have a template right here. You're going to show, it's going to, it'll populate what your potential income is from your listing that you just put on the market. And then when you get something under contract, it'll go into the probable income. So isn't this cool? You always got like an online time summary of kind of like where you're going with your business, what kind of income you can expect. I mean, that is so cool to me because in the olden days, we didn't have this thing. It was kind of hard to keep up with, you know, okay, how much money do I have? You know, where do I need to get to? That sort of thing, which is great in running your business, right? You've already set your goals probably for 2021. This is pretty much show you where you're at before the year even starts. So it's a great tool to use. Also in your, in the buyer, working with buyers, okay, potential income, you got your contacts in, okay, and if you're working your opportunity properly, you're going to have that buyer in different phases, right, of a contract, right? Right, you're working with somebody, you're not sure they're going to do anything, but this will break down once you got your contacts in and you're setting up some type of opportunity for all your, you know, don't wait until, you know, you get a contract to set your buyer up, because this will show you what your potential income is and what your, you know, probable income is based on what, you know, what stage you are with that buyer. So I think this is a great tool, you know, just a snapshot of where you're at. Anita, I love your hair today.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It looks great.
Thank you.
You look like a different person. Not that you didn't look good before.
So sweet.
In the same way with leases and everything, and I don't know if anybody's, you know, gone down to the end of it. Has everybody seen this little thing? Okay. This is great. This shows you what your activity is during the year. And if you're keeping track and doing your opportunities properly and working, you know, working your buyers through the opportunity, it's going to show you what, you know, what kind of money you make. That's pretty key, right? If you're falling short, you know, you got to increase your activities. So I just wanted to, you know, go through that page and, you know, emphasize, you know, keep up with your opportunities, working your buyers and your listings through, you know, the opportunities, because all the tools in here are just absolutely outstanding. You know, show you where you are and, you know, based on that, what you need to do, what kind of activities you need to do to meet your 2021 goals. So I thought that was cool. So let's just go ahead, and to get commissions, what I'm going to do is I'll go to opportunities. I'm going to create one. Okay. And I'll just say this is a buyer opportunity. And let's see. Get somebody in my contacts. Oh, Tanya Bauer. Tanya, I've been working with her for years. She just can't make a decision on it. Are they unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so they got a lot of tabs in here, and it's just like the green sheet, they got certain things that you gotta have in there, right? In the green sheet, those little red areas you had to fill out for the green sheet to complete. So let's just say estimated closing date, November 30, time frame, let's just say within a month, commission rate is 3%. One other thing, on the old green sheet, you could do the buyer and the seller side, right? Okay, if you had the agent, but you had an agent that could do both sides, that did both sides of the transaction, had the listing and worked with a buyer, you could do that. You know, you had agent A, and you could do the listing agent, you can have agent B, and you have the buyer working with the buyer, the agent working with the buyer. You can't do that. You're gonna have to do a separate, because the person working this is the buyer side, the person working on the listing side, they're gonna have their own opportunity. Okay, so they're gonna have to do their own commission tab.
So it'll be two separate ones.
Two separate ones.
Okay.
Now we'll get into this, and I'll show you. You can break out, like you and Francine, y'all split deals. You can do that on, you know, if you're both working with a buyer, you're just splitting the deal. You can do that. But if you got working with buyer and seller, each one of you is going to have an opportunity. So you'll separately do your commission tab.
What if we have both? Still do 2 opportunities?
Yeah, you still got to do both, 2 opportunities if you're working with both, because you're going to have different contacts, right? The opportunity is built off a contact, and of course, if you work in both sides, you're going to have 2 contacts, so you got to have 2 opportunities. Here, I thought you were going to ask a question.
So I accidentally put a buyer under the listing opportunity. Do I have to create a whole new opportunity now, or can I switch it?
No, you probably can go in and edit it.
Yeah, I tried, and I asked the new girl, and she said that I had to do it. And I was like, maybe you knew something because she's new, the one that's down the beach. But okay.
I hadn't come across that.
Okay.
But you know, if you don't feel good about that answer, give our regional tech that call.
Okay.
I think you got to do a new opportunity if you.
I know, because I've already connected it to my dot loop, but it's fine. I made a mistake.
Yeah. Okay, so we set up the details of our opportunity. I'm gonna go here and edit the general information, you know, just like you would. Contact name, Tanya, stage. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and, you know, she's hot. Tanya is hot, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
She's active. She's very active.
Very active.
Yep. Okay. And let's just say the contract date. Let's say we got got the contract, and it's going to close at the end of the month. Let's give what his budget was. Of course, you know, I'm in a stage where I'm actually going to a closing. Okay, this should have been set up, okay, when you started working with a client. Okay, because initially you would have been cultivating this particular person, you know, so forth and so on. Financing type, we'll say none. Tanya's going to pay cash. Okay, so we're working with her, so forth and so on. We had already set up the opportunity for her, but we've gone through different stages and changed the stage. You know, as you work towards, you know, a contract, change the stages. Okay, so now we've come to the point where we've actually identified a property. Okay. Now keep in mind this can change, right? Because when you get in, you'll make offers. You know, you got an offer tab in your opportunity, and you'll make offers like the initial offer. That won't always work, right? Okay. So you might have to, you know, go on to another property. So you come back and edit that property, all right? If that's the case. Most of the time, that's not going to be the case because you're writing an offer. Okay, 70% of the time, that's probably going to work out. But you will have situations where you have to go change the property. But let's just put the property in. And I think they're going to have all these addresses in here. And you can just select one. You know how you put in Google Maps and you go in there and you put an address, and as you're putting an address, they're pulling up all these addresses that are similar, right? Okay, that's the same, that's what's happening here, okay? So it just makes it like easier to enter our address or whatever, it might jump down. I think that's so cool. And if you don't, you have to manually put it down, and then you have to go in and enter all this kind of stuff. It's just really makes it where you can do it quickly. Okay. So we got all our information in there, and we've gone and we identified a property. This is the house we're gonna write an offer on, and then we go to the offer tab. Okay. Then what we want to do is we're going to add a new offer. We'll just say this is the initial offer. Create it. That's what we'll call it. And then we'll go through and fill out the terms of the offer. So it auto-fills with the information we put in and the detail, closing date and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the property, and then this little tab down here takes you through all the stuff that needs to be input into the offer tab. Okay, so if you don't fill in stuff correctly, it won't let you keep going on. But these are the parties to the to this transaction. There's our buyer, her email address, her telephone number, blah, blah, blah. That's all auto-filled from your contacts. So once you put in your contact, you're getting a lot of the other stuff that's going to be populated from that. So you don't have to put it all, you don't have to duplicate all this information. Okay, so this is the buyer side, then you got to do like the seller side. This is required information.
This is only once you go under contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you write it, you should do you put it in there, like if you write a contract, you should enter this, go ahead and enter this information. Okay. Because you can
Update it?
Yeah, you can update it. You update it as you go through the process.
Then we don't have to annoy you with all these emails and changing.
Right. Okay, then you go to that's all the personal information. Then you go through and go into the terms. I mean, you see, it's just like, it's all the information you put into the green sheet, right? I mean, it's all the same information. And then you go to this agent analysis, and I can pretty much tell you there's not a lot of people going to do this. But this is your analysis of this particular offer that was made, the pros and the cons of it, summary, so forth. You don't have to really enter anything in there.
It's not required.
Okay. If it's not required, just like in a green sheet, nobody filled out anything that wouldn't require it. What is required on this one, though, is the other agent, the co-op agent name. And what we try to do is, for recruiting purposes, like tabulate all the, just get an indication of who's selling our properties or whatever, who's on the other transaction, that is outside our company and, you know, contact them. So, you know, if you're not keeping track of that, you can't really do it. We have the, you know, co-op outing that we've had a couple of things. So it's an easy, easy place to go to get those names from those people that are actually, you know, we're doing business with. Okay, so here's the offers. You can add additional offers, so forth and so on. But let's say this is an accepted offer, okay? So what we just do is click accept, okay? So now we got an accepted offer. Is closing the 13th, and it gives you all the details. So if you go back to that first page I showed you, it'll be part of your future, you know, the closings that are that'll be in the month. So what I used to do, I'd write contracts and I used to call it my pot, and I'd just keep track on a piece of paper. Okay, this is how much money I think I'm gonna make, you know, next month. I might be able to pay my daughter's tuition, right? It's a good idea to know at all times. But up front on your opportunities page, you're gonna have a summary, and it's gonna show you exactly what closing, how much gross income you're supposed to get from that. This will be a part of that. So it's a real great place to have a summary of, you know, what you expect to, you know, be pulling in. Because when you go to your banker and he asks, well, what kind of money you make, you can show it. Okay. So, and there's also a tab in here, like something happens, you can change the response, you know, whatever, you know, all these tabs in here. And of course, I didn't spend a lot of time in here. I spent like 20 minutes going through this. This is very simple, you know, just to teach the class. So I haven't hit all this stuff, but, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. So what we do is we go into the commissions tab. And this is our action. A lot of this stuff is already, once you put the offer in, all the commission tab, most of it is filled out. So you don't even really have to do much to the commission tab once you enter the offer. And of course, you'll be able to edit it. Like, okay, when we first entered him as in an opportunity, we put a 3% commission, right? Okay. As we know, a lot of times it's not going to be a 3% commission. It might be a 2.5%. Hopefully nobody's taking less than 5. But this number could change, obviously. So you have an edit button where you can edit, you know, your information. Okay, so that's how you edit just the general information. One thing what I talked about, you might have more than one person on this transaction, right? Like Kiara and Francine, they work as a team and they split transactions. So when you edit your information, your total units, let's say we got a situation like that, and they're splitting it 50-50. I can't do it right here, but once I put Francine in, I'll be able to do that. You can change the commission.
So it says add another agent on the bottom.
Right. Well, once you do that, you can go back and edit what you're going to get.
Okay.
The unit you're going to get. But you can change that information and it changes. So you can add it, you know, price, you know, the total, the commission rate, you know, your closing date. One thing I wish you did, well, once you submit it, you can't change anything. Okay.
Can I ask a question, Carson?
Yeah.
Where do you put the referral agents?
I'm going to show you how to do that.
Hey Carson,
Mm-hmm.
I just did mine for my closing next week and I submitted it to you, but we're not closed yet. So it says submitted to MC, but I still have to do all the closing documents.
That has nothing to do with the green sheet. You won't have a lot of, you know, you should have your, you know, your documents, but it's not going to stop me from getting a green sheet.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you can do is you can add another agent. So John, well, how you do, how you add a referral is what you do is you go and do edit agent payment, and you go down to the bottom where you add items, and then this particular drop down, you've got outside referral, inside referral, deductions, bonuses, so forth and so on. So that's where you put that information.
So with the question, when it comes to agents like Kathy Taylor that are in these referral only, would that be an inside referral, or we just put her down as a?
No, you split the one unit.
Okay, just do it as we did normally. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you just split it like I was talking about Kiera and Francine. I'm going to show you how to get what I thought I'd just jump ahead and show you. But if you go through that process and you say outside referral, it's the same information. It'll ask you for the same information that it asks for you in the green sheet, which a lot of people won't fill out. But you'll have to have all this information before you can submit it to the MCA for approval. But that's outside referral. Let's just go to 25%.
I like how they have the agent name in there now. For the referral, for the agent name instead of just the company itself.
Yeah.
Because they always call.
Right. Okay, so that adds the information, and where you do, your KW Cares and KW Local. Here's where you need to do that, right? So. No E&O, of course. You can do bowl scholarships, and there's some other items in here too that you can do. Like if you have a deduction for your TC, okay, you put it in here, and you put all the information, update all the information on this tab. So is that self-explanatory? Is that?
It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Huh? So, okay. So let's do this. Let's go. Okay, okay, so that's what the lead agent would do. Okay, let's say that this agent's going to split with Kathy Taylor, like John was saying. So what you do is just add it. Well, let's just add Catherine McGinnis. Kathy's no longer with us. So what's great is it pulls it up for you. Let's say.
And that was my specific. The Kathy not being, she's just in the referral.
Yeah, well, she would be if she's with another broker.
She's not.
Yeah, she's with the holding. She's with the what do you call it?
She's the Don's the referral company.
Yeah, she's with a referral company.
So is that an outside referral or?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, it is, because they have their own broker. Don's their broker.
Don's the broker, yeah.
Don's their broker, so we would write, the check, just like if she was with Mobile.
Perfect.
If it's not in our market center, that's an outside referral. And we don't really have inside referrals. We split the deal. Each agent has to pay, company dollar or, in royalty, unless they're capped, obviously. So let's say she gets half the deal, And what you have to do after you say she's happy, you have to calculate what that's going to be. Okay. Now, if you look right here, there's no royalty and there's no company dollar. Well, let's just go for her. Well, because she might be capped. So after you do that, you go have to edit my units I'm getting, right? Catherine's getting half, I'm getting half. Okay, so what that does is it breaks it out for, you know, what each agent's going to get paid for each agent.
So I'm splitting a buyer with Alessandra because she speaks Spanish and I don't. It's my buyer, but I really can't communicate with her. So this is how I would put this in with mine and her deal, 0.5 for each.
Right. And what's cool about this gives you an up-to-date. Every transaction will give you an up-to-date with your cap and where you stand as far as your cap and your royalty. Okay, I get calls all the time. Where I stand, you know, whereabouts, you know, as far as capping.
So
and this gives like, see, I haven't paid any cap towards cap or royalty. Obviously, I almost buy or sell. Work with buyers and sellers, so mine's zero. But you'll be, as soon as you enter this information in the screen sheet, it'll show you where each agent is. Well, the person creating it. It won't show the, you know, the other agent because that wouldn't be any of our business, right? And there's Catherine's portion. Is there any questions? And this gives you a summary, which I think is outstanding because we need to see this. Then after that, if there are problems, you'll find over here where the problems are. If you want to send me a note when you send this, you know, for some reason you like to send me a note. Well, we have a note section in the green sheets, right? But that I'd never catch that. It's so small and everything. Nobody sent me a note yet, so I don't know what it looks like. But after you complete all this, all you got to do is submit. And it'll ask you, would you like to make a contribution? No, because time.
Carson,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't see a space for the local KW cares. Like, that's the one I usually give a little.
It's in the other. So like, you're going to add an item to take out. You go down to deductions. Who asked that question?
Eleanor?
Eleanor?
Yeah.
Why are you asking questions I don't have the answer to? I'm just kidding. They don't look like they've set one up here, but I would think it's going to be deductions. And let's just say, well, it's not requiring me to have a tax ID. Okay, so what would, Okay, so you see how I did that?
Yeah.
Okay. If that doesn't save, I would hate to think that I got to do that every time, but there, huh?
Yeah, I see it now.
Yes, there it is. Okay. So you just go and did you see how I did that?
Yeah.
You go, edit agent payments, add an item, and save it. And I will check into making this like one of the normal, one of our normal deals, or maybe there's some way I can edit, these like E&O, which we're never going to use, that maybe I could change that to KW local. I'll have to look into that. In the meantime, if you're going to do something, with local, just go through what I just did.
So what about just doing where you said put a note to you? Just tell
Yeah, you could also do that. Just add a note.
And Carson, you asked this question, but I just want to, or you answered this question, but I just want to double check. So if in-house Keller Williams agent, someone has the buyer and someone else has the seller, we fill out our own green sheets. It's not
right. Right.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know, I had this discussion when we first got into Command about that's something they were going to look into, developing, where we could do it all in one,
Now, if we already have a green sheet filled out for stuff that's closing this week or next week, is it okay to go ahead and submit it through Command anyway?
Yeah. No, if you already done your green sheet or, yeah, I'm already taking commissions. I'm already doing commissions. I'm kind of doing both right now. I know I put out to everybody, we were going to do a trial thing and go full force, at the turn of the year. And I don't see why there's any, reason to wait.
Okay. Well, it's not going to mess you up.
No.
Use our existing ones to practice. Okay.
Right. It's not going to mess me up.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I'm sorry, you can finish. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
I have a question about team splits. Is there a place in there, because with our team, every transaction is different. If it originally came from our sphere of influence, it's an 80-20 split. If it's a new client that we got,
80-20 split.
well, that's what, or it's the regular, it would be the regular one, original one I signed for, the 70-30. But if it's not with your sphere of influence, it's 50-50. 50 to KCN. So I'm just trying to figure if there's a place in there to do the split, so I can go over that with.
Well, when you do your referral, you talking about your referral, your split with your team?
Yeah, I think it should be an outside referral.
It's an outside referral.
Outside referral?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it asks you the percentage of what the outside referral is.
Okay, I got you. All right,
Yeah.
so that's where.
So you put whatever it should be.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All right.
Yeah, it's just like the green sheet.
Okay.
You put the percentage on there.
All right.
Is there any other questions? Then once you've complete all that, you do your submission and ask you if you want to do KW carrier. Now, when I get it and I have a problem with it, I send it back to you. And I probably just give you a call instead of going through all this. I don't reject many green sheets. But you get a return to me. Now, what I do in my command, this was submitted, so this is what I do as an MCA. All right, here, every day I go in and I see that here's the commission requests that have came in since, you know, I've gone through and reviewed them and accepted them or sent them back. So here are the 3. That's the one that was just submitted. I go review it, you know. And actually, Jen, are you on? Jen must not might be on. You know, if something's wrong, I don't like it, I'll do return. But most of the time, I approve it. You know, so it's the same thing y'all did with the green sheet. It's just all on the same platform. Don't y'all love it?
Fantastic.
It is a lot easier on the green sheet.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. What I didn't remember seeing is where you put the split with the company. Like some teams, like on a team, you have an 80-20 split, and caps are different. But I don't know. I'm sure you can change. How about it, Hap?
Progress. Keep moving forward.
Put your contacts in here. If you need to put if somebody needs to put their contacts in, contact Jamie. Jamie, you on? And if y'all aren't using smart plans, I mean, you're working too much. Because you can set up a smart plan where you're sending out whatever, just listed flyers and all that kind of stuff, or just sold and stuff like that. You need to send those to your database, but you can schedule it.
Yeah, I found
through and where you don't have to do this stuff manually. What you need to be doing is sending those out at least. How many touches are you making a year to your database, and then you can just schedule all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it. You're saving yourself a lot. You're going to have these clients coming to you. You don't even know where they're coming from or why.
Yeah. During that DocuSign class that they had the other day, she had mentioned that they also have a place in there where you can set up your team smart, which I didn't know.